A massive thank you to Joshua, Shrimp Gang, Radovici and Joker for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 15 of Season 1 of our F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Yesterday we hit back ready for the Japanese Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on yesterday's race from Singapore, definitely go back and check it out. It'll be linked top right hand side of your screens. Click the little eye. It will be up there ready for you guys as well, of course. And yeah, really looking forward to jumping in to the Japanese Grand Prix today. We've got 1,500 R&D points currently sat waiting to be used. Not too sure we can do any upgrades though at this stage of the campaign. We're really starting to struggle actually. We need to try and get some more facility upgrades as well there, but hopefully we can do the turbo improved materials. No, we can't because we haven't got enough developments left. We have got the redesigned brake ducts in them at last, which is very good to see. And the rear wing outer strakes is going to cost us no points at all. So that's a pretty simple upgrade to go on the car. Let's fast forward then and see if we've got anything coming in. What do we want to do in terms of that? We'll go... Why can't we do both? There we go. Don't know what that was about. But anyway, yeah, let's head towards the US Grand Prix and hopefully get these upgrades on, and of course not.
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for this weekend has failed. Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen.
Absolutely love that once more. So that should be ready for Kota next time out. Are we going to get the other upgrade on the car? Yes, we are, which is good to see. So, where are we in terms of upgrades then? We're still just behind Alfa Romeo at this stage of the campaign. Still got 5 upgrades in the works that should all be sorted ready for next time out there. Because you're just losing a little bit of ground to them. Alpine have brought more upgrades as well to further extend their gap just in front of us as well. So we do need to be careful as we get in towards the latter stages of the year. Can we do any facility upgrades? Not with less than $1 million, I don't think so. Yeah, we desperately need some more upgrades on like the chassis and aero department as well, but that'll happen in due course. Let's dive in to the Japanese Grand Prix. Right, heading into free practice then, here at Suzuka. Let's see what we can get out of the car this weekend then. Must admit, Singapore has given me a lot of confidence as we head into the flyaway season. Of course, got the race here, 3 races over in the Americas, as you clearly don't want to nudge that curb. And then, of course, Australia and Abu Dhabi to round out the season as well, of course. Yeah, definitely feel like running high wings is the way to go between now and the end of the year. But we'll wait and see. Right, well, ERS test done. Let's head out for our tyre wear program then here at the Japanese Grand Prix. Like I said in the Breaking Point video we did a couple of days ago, I'm a fan of the slight Suzuka remodel. Apart from that curb down in towards turn 1, apparently. Not a fan of the curbs early on the lap, it would appear. But yeah, definitely feel like they've finally tweaked Suzuka now where it's actually raceable here on F1 2021. A lot less bumpy than we've seen in recent years. And of course, the bump out of the final corner completely ruined this track. Doesn't mean I know how to come out of Dunlop, though. Really now just trying to farm some R&D points over the last few weekends of the year, just on the off chance that we do get any rule changes. We desperately need some prize money as well at the end of the year to try and get more facility upgrades on as well. And hopefully we can try and do a lot more upgrades in through Season 2. But yeah, just trying to balance everything out at the moment, at this stage of the campaign. Of course, we'll be looking soon as to who to hire as our second driver for next season as well. I'm sure I'll leave a vote for you guys in a couple of days, once we get a clearer picture of who we might be able to sign. But yeah, lots of things going on in the background early on in my team. Your decisions now really will affect you later on down the line. We've picked up 300 R&D points, though, so far this weekend. Can only get the 100 in the tyre wear test after that mistake, but fingers crossed this one is going to be 200 again. In towards the Casio Triangle for the final time then, with a bit of luck in free practice, as long as we don't do anything stupid here. Should be another purple score there, and out at the final turn, there we go. Practice done and dusted, let's dive into quali. Okay. Right, here we are then. Beautiful sunny Suzuka here for qualifying day for the Japanese Grand Prix. Let's see if we can try and get this thing back into Q2 once again late on in this World Championship. Like we said, though, Alfa Romeo have bought more upgrades. Haas and Williams have done the same this weekend, so we might struggle a little bit more for pace than we did back at Singapore. And of course, this track a lot more conventional. Get very few tracks that are more classic than Suzuka on the F1 calendar, but we'll give it our best shot and see what we can do. Oh, we've got yellow flags out as we come towards the end of our first run. Hopefully that's no one with any major issues. Out of the final corner, though, it is going to be a 28.4, puts us about 3/10 behind Mazepin. Definitely not enough there. Well, we know there's a lot more time to find in this run because Schwartzman's already gone 6/10 faster than us. So as we head up through the S's, they're really struggling to get the car pointed where I want it. Through this complex of corner zone, you can see already 3/10 down. You can't hit the curbs either. It's so difficult to get that section of track hooked up. And yeah, this lap probably is going to be no improvement. I'm a little bit worried about the ICE. It's already up over 60% as well, so we need to be careful that. We'll probably have to swap that out. Ready for the Grand Prix there. Reliability certainly hasn't been perfect this year, but as we try and put power down, fingers crossed, we can still just get to the end of the Grand Prix. Yeah, I think to be honest, we're going to have to change that. Ready for the race, as well as maybe, yeah, no, most of the other components are looking alright. Oh, I'm running a bit wide through Spoon, though. That's not what we wanted to do there. We've only going to compromise our run. He was saying we got next to no fuel left in the tank as well. Yeah, this lap is, well, if it's going to be any improvement, it's not going to be by much, but at least we know there's definitely a lot more time to find in the first sector of the lap. In through the Casio triangle there, gets close to those inside bollards, attack the curbs both on entry and exit. You can now get the power a whole lot earlier, and it is going to be a 1/10.5 improvement. Still leaves us down in 20th, though. We're going to get one more shot of this. There's very little chance for making Q2. Final lap here, then, from Japanese qualifying, as we've got everything to gain and nothing to lose. At this stage of the session, we need a good, clean, tidy lap, so at least try and get ourselves with the Williams and the Haas cars here. But let's just wait and see if we can keep it tidy, if we can keep it pinned when we need to, and try to find another couple of tenths on this final run there. Really thread it up through the S's. There we go, half a second. That's what I'm talking about. So much difference just one lap can make around this track as we head through the first Stegner. Really open up the entrance and of course the exit of the second one there. 5.5 tenths up as we head into the hairpin. Oh, really try and rotate the car. A lot of understeer though on the exit. That's going to throw away about half a tenth at most. We're still half second up as we head down the hill though. This could be a big improvement, which is exactly what we need. Of course, made a bit of a mistake through Spoon last time round as well. A little bit cautious though on the entry. Do get a pretty decent run on the exit though, but we still throw away about half a tenth. Once more they're down in towards 130R in the final couple of corners of the lap. We're still a little way behind George Russell, but this final sector we have been strong through as we head in towards the braking zone. Really try and take as much curb on the entry and on the exit as you dare. Avoid that final curb on the outside. Shortest run to the line. It's going to be a 27.7. Where does that leave us on the grid for the Japanese Grand Prix? We've got penalties, so we'll probably be last anyway. So it is Bottas in the fastest car at the end of session 1 there. That is quite possibly the worst way I botched saying Bottas was fastest in Q1, but 14 thousandths quicker than his teammate Lewis Hamilton there, as both McLarens and Ferraris in the second and third row. We end up P19. We did go 7 thousandths quicker than our teammate Schwartzman there, as it was actually Mick Schumacher and Kimi Räikkönen that made it through. So only less than a tenth off in the end. It was pretty good, I'll be honest. There are 5 of us separated by less than a tenth. Really goes to show how close it was at the end of Q1 there, and Haas, Williams, and Alfa Romeo all right with each other as well there. But yeah, let's dive in then. Like I said, we got penalties. We'll probably just put a fresh ICE in. Don't want to take too many grip pens as well come the end of the year. But yeah, let's dive into the Japanese Grand Prix.
We come to you live today from the Mie Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen many title deciders over the years. Some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. 18 corners make up a lap of the incredible figure-of-8 Suzuka circuit, with 10 to the right and 8 to the left, for a distance of 3.6 miles. Average lap speeds around here are fairly quick. If it stays dry, then expect somewhere in the region of 136 miles per hour. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Leclerc, Lando Norris and Perez, Vettel, Raikkonen, Sainz, they've taken a grid penalty, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Russell, Verstappen, Fernando Alonso and Stroll, Latifi, Gasly, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, they've taken a grid penalty, Schwartzman, Mazepin and Mr. Monaco. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
How on earth have Kimi Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi ended up in the top 10 because of grid penalties there? That's what? 7 places gained, I think, for Antonio after qualifying there, but we do start still, despite all those penalties last, here for the Japanese Grand Prix. Fingers crossed we can keep it clean and tidy over the opening couple of laps here. We actually decided to change both the ICE and the control electronics for this one, as the control electronics was running pretty high as well there. So fingers crossed they can both see us through the final few races of the year here. But starting P22 on the grid should be, if I remember correctly, a soft to medium strategy here in Suzuka. If we can get those softs the 1 extra lap and then take the mediums the final 15, we should be good. But let's dive into it then here from Suzuka. Starting at the back of the field, ready for round 15 of the year. 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go for a very, very mixed up grid here at the Japanese Grand Prix. Not off to the best start in the world. We'll just try and get through turn 1. Oh, nice and tidy there as Mazepin's going to cut in front of us. There you can see everyone forming a pretty orderly queue through the first corner. That's exactly what you like to see. Everyone, actually, yeah. All sneaking through the S's for the first time, so we tried to get some heat into the rubber. Absolutely no grip or downforce, of course, with all the dirty air. But as we head up through the S's, though, it's been pretty rather, actually, considering how random the grid is, rather controlled and calm by a lot of people at the start of this race. Now, Suzuka isn't the easiest track to overtake at, so we will have to be careful here. We might be able to go for a bit of a send in towards the hairpin on Nikita Mazepin. We'll wait and see what happens. Oh, Schwartzman thought about it on Schumacher, but we lock up the rears, but we do get up the inside of our teammate. Yeah, not too sure how legitimate a move that was with the yellow flags, but we're taking it. And Schwartzman hasn't lost the place to Mazepin just yet either, so that's a pretty decent start as well. They're up 2 places for us. We've got Schumacher just in front of us on some mediums. But yeah, I think the big worry this weekend is where the Alfa Romeo is going to be. Thank God we scored those good points last time. Schumacher out of the final corner as we start lap 2, not getting the best run in the world. And he's going to push us towards the pit wall, back down towards turn 1. Let's see if we can make this move work, though. Apparently not. Mick Schumacher just turning in on me there. We'll lose the 1 spot to our teammate here. Mazepin's going to try and... That was more my fault. Sorry. Never have been a fan of Suzuka on the F1 games, I'll be honest. It's certainly a much more raceable circuit than it once was. But still, there's so many very, very evil curbs around this track. Never a fan of Nikita Mazepin either, for obvious reasons, so put the two together, and it was never going to end well. But we got one of the Williams battling one of the Alpines. That's Latifi and I think Esteban Ocon in this Grand Prix as we head out the final couple of corners of lap 2. DRS should now be enabled.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
I'm a mind reader here on F1 2021, but yeah, there we go. Latifi's been absolutely mugged off by Ocon through the first couple of corners as we're still just struggling with rear end grip. You always sort of forget racing around Suzuka. Every single curb wants to kill you. You think, oh, that one might be alright, or that one might be okay. No, they all want you dead around this track as we head out through 130R, though, all over the back of our teammate Schwartzman. Pushes us up towards the grass. A little bit of contact, but we have made the move work. Teammate giving us a big old squeeze there, but yeah, we need to try and make some forward progress. If we can get ahead of Latifi, we'll have a little bit of clear air to hopefully settle down and get some consistent laps in. Right, can we do a similar move on Mick Schumacher as we did to our teammate just one lap ago then? Of course, already had some contact with the Haas driver early on in this Grand Prix as we get all over the back of him through 130R. We'll have a look to the inside. Schumacher goes defensive, but not defensive enough. And this time round, we will slam the door shut.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
Team pretty happy with that one. Now we just got to try and get Latifi. And on Latifi as we head through the Casio Triangle. The Williams definitely got a lot better top-end speed than the Haas cars as we head through the final couple of corners. Of course, Latifi still on his mediums at this stage of the Grand Prix as well. Can we get a good run out of the final turn? Nicholas going to go defensive on us. We'll swoop to the outside and clean around the outside before we even get back down towards turn 1. Make sure we get it slowed down without using the curbing. And we are now up at a P18. Long way to go though before any more cars. Ocon now 6 seconds up the road. Our first lap in clean air, a second faster.
Behind is 2.3 seconds.
A second faster than anything we've done so far today. And we took a second out of the guys in front as well there. I think it's still Russell up in P11 causing a massive train in this Grand Prix. So hopefully it'll allow us to get into the mix. Got a few more cars into the pit lane then. George Russell being one of them. So unfortunately now that huge train is going to get a bit further away once more. We just about come out ahead of Charles Leclerc in this race, but yeah, don't think we're going to be able to defend from him for very long. P14 now, but yeah, I would have thought no real point in even fighting Charles at this stage of the day. Ferrari got a mighty fast race car once again. Is Charles Leclerc going to be able to get the run now on us as we head down in towards the Casio Triangle? No, apparently not. It would appear, so he's probably going to try and get us down in towards turn 1, of course, with the DRS. Charles Leclerc really being a bit patient with this. Quite surprised by that, by the young Ferrari man. Known for being a bit hot-headed in a Formula 1 car, but now, surely, again, I'm not going to use any battery. We might get ourselves into the top 10.
The best in lap you can.
There we go, our teammates into the pits. We got Vettel just coming out. Oh, it all gets a little bit congested down towards turn 1, but we do now come out in P10 of this Grand Prix. But again, we'll be diving in either the end of this one, or maybe we can try and stretch it one more. Come on then, Carlos Sainz, let's see what you got as we head back out of the final corner. Again, a couple more people into the pits there, Giovinazzi and Lance Stroll. Are we going to see Sainz get close enough though? Back down towards turn 1, there's Sergio Perez as well. But no, Carlos can't get it done in towards turn 1. Might try and have a look on the exit though. See, already had contact with Mazepin here. Oh, Sainz squeezes out over the curbs. But a very brave move from the young Spaniard, but he has pulled it off. Right, come on then, Perez. Don't want to hold you up too much, buddy, in your Red Bull. Sure, you've got much better work to be doing today than fighting me.
That's us down a place.
Come on, Sergio. That Red Bull is still so slow down the straights. But we have made it the extra lap that we wanted to the end of lap 12. And now we will dive into the pits. These tyres very much done and dusted. Very, very difficult pit lane to actually spot to get into, but we do get it slowed down nice and tidy. Very downhill as well, Suzuka's pit lane. You sort of don't realise it, all these plateaus between each of the grid box there, but where are we going to re-emerge in this Grand Prix? It's not going to be in particularly great position. 1.9 second stop though we won't complain about. As, yeah, heading back out onto the track though, we're still going to be P20 in this Grand Prix.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
But anyway, yeah, Latifi and Schumacher still haven't pit, of course. Try and get a bit of heat into the rubber before we spin out. But yeah, 6 seconds now, the gap to Ocon in front. I just don't think there's going to be much we can do here, unless, of course, Giovinazzi starts slowing them all up. There we go, Schumacher and Latifi into the pits, so we basically matched their stint.
The car ahead is 13.7 seconds.
We basically matched their stint on softer compounder rubber there, so pretty happy with that one. We've also taken a bit of time out of Ocon and Tsunoda, but we managed to do that last stint, and then the gap pretty much stabilised. So just don't want to get too ahead of ourselves at the halfway stage. 11 to go here at Suzuka, and at the moment it's just George Russell getting slowly cycled back through the pack in front. He's now down to P17 in this Grand Prix. But yeah, just trying to keep our head down, trying to keep it focused, keeping it clean as well. Far more importantly there, because the car will still do that at pretty much any given opportunity this late on in the Grand Prix. We have still got one of the Alphas though, I think it's Giovinazzi, are holding up a little train of cars in front of us, giving us some hope. But I think Raikkonen is now out of the points as well, luckily. 7 laps to go then here from the Japanese Grand Prix, and we've finally clawed up to the back of George Russell in this race in his Williams. Obviously he hasn't got any DRS on the guys in front there, as Giovinazzi's putting up a valiant effort to try and defend there, but surely back down towards turn 1 we're going to be able to get a nice run on George Russell, so I don't do anything stupid through the final couple of corners. Activate the ERS, wait for the DRS to open up as well, and surely now we're going to get some overspeed.
Car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
Team there just warning us about the tyres as well, but we do make the move nice, clean and tidy. On to lap 21 of this Grand Prix. And we're finally up another spot. Really, it's always the way in Formula 1. You experience all the highs, and you come crashing down to the lowest of the lows. In this one, yeah, P17 is not really where I want to finish here at Suzuka, but to be honest, it's been one of those weird days where everything just seems to have gone the other way. 4 laps to go here from Suzuka, and we're now finally in the DRS range of the next couple of cars in front of us here. Are we going to see Giovinazzi being able to defend from homeboy Yuki Tsunoda as we head out of the final corner? Need to remind us, we're running very, very low on fuel at this stage of the day, but is the AlphaTauri going to have the run on the Alfa Romeo back down towards turn 1? They're just not quite close enough this time round, and unfortunately that just means there's nothing Ocon or I can do either. We might have to completely drain the battery here, try and get a run on Esteban as we head out of Spoon.
Just focus on the driving.
Team saying the tyres are absolutely fine still, so we are going to drain a load of the battery as we try and get close to the Alpine in towards 130. Oh, big lift from Esteban there, not too sure what that was all about. We'll have a look down the inside though at the very last moment. Come on, there we go. Up another spot in this Grand Prix right in the dying stages. P16 now, with just 3 to go here from Suzuka. That was pretty much on the edge. Are we now going to see Tsunoda get a run on Giovinazzi? Still not getting close enough down towards turn 1. What is the AlphaTauri driver doing? Right, can we do a similar thing then to Yuki Tsunoda, sorry, as we did to Esteban Ocon? Just 1 lap ago. We know Gio will be vulnerable without, of course, any DRS on him, but can we try and get a run on Tsunoda first then? If Tsunoda's not going to try and get the move done on the Alpha, we may as well try and have a look for a move on the AlphaTauri. Again, draining the battery as we head down in towards 130 are there, and again the AI braking early on the line. Tsunoda though this time round does cut across us, so we'll switch back to the inside. Again, no contact. It was a nice clean move.
You made it look easy.
Team are loving that one again there, as yes, Tsunoda tried to go a bit too aggressive with the defending there. Felt like he moved across us just a bit. And now with 2 laps to go, we're all over the back of Giovinazzi. And now, of course, he's got no DRS to defend himself with. Running a bit wide through turn 1.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
But we hold it on the island. Not going to use the battery down towards 130R this time around. We're going to focus on trying to get a big, big run on Giovinazzi back down towards turn 1 here. You can see the battery's pretty much drained as well at this stage of the Grand Prix. We've timed this late charge back through the field pretty much to perfection here, but there's still one more car we've got to try and navigate our way around. Out of the final corner, ready to start the last lap here at Suzuka. Activate that DRS, completely run the battery dry. Are we going to get close to Giovinazzi in towards turn 1 there? He's using a lot of his own battery, and no, we don't. We don't get close enough to Giovinazzi back down through turn 1. So now we've got to try and stick with him. We've got to try and stick with him now through the rest of the lap and see if we can make something work into the Casio Triangle. Hamilton has come through to win the Japanese Grand Prix. Now 3 wins in a row for the Mercedes man as he looks to try and close out this World Championship ahead of his teammate Valtteri Bottas here. But we are still all over the back of Giovinazzi on this final lap. of the Grand Prix here. Struggling a bit with downforce and just destroyed rear tyres at this stage of the day. But are we able to go for anything as we head through Spoon for the final time? We need to get a good run on the exit there. Use all the exit curb, completely now drain the battery as we head in towards the final couple of corners of this Japanese Grand Prix here. We are gaining in on the Alfa Romeo. If he has a bit of a lift, we might get a bit closer, but I don't think it's going to be close enough. At the end of the day, we have a look at the inside. Giovinazzi, he does give us the room on the inside there, and we do somehow get the room around the outside. No idea why he didn't slam the door at the final corner, but we get P14.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Not just victory today then, but the championship as well. What a spectacular season they've had. Congratulations to the whole team. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They pushed and pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Japanese Grand Prix, and it is once again Hamilton who takes home pole position. Fastest lap race victory. Makes it look simple, doesn't he? At the end of the day there. Bottas P2 ahead of Lando Norris. We do get a double Brit podium there. Yeah, Lando, a very, very good race out in P3 in the end there. Vettel, again, a very good race for him and Aston Martin in P4 ahead of both Ferraris there. Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz. Then you got Perez, Ricciardo, Alonso and Max Verstappen rounding out your top 10 there. Stroll just misses out on points in the end ahead of Kimi and Pierre Gasly there. And you can see the gap between us. 4 cars separated by 0.4 of a second at the finish line there. What a battle that was with those guys at the end of the Grand Prix there. But I'm sure Giovinazzi a bit gutted to waste the top 10 start in the end there. The same with Kimi Räikkönen. I'm sure they would have hoped a couple of points might have been available this weekend there. Every car, though, made it to the end of another Grand Prix there. Just Schwartzman and the 2 Haas cars ended up a lap down when all is said and done there. But it does mean championship-wise, we're still P13 at the moment, tied with Ocon. Lando Norris gets the jump on his teammate Danny Rick again. Charles Leclerc actually gets the jump on Max Verstappen as well there. And just 21 points even separating that gap between those guys at the moment. It is official, though, if I'm not mistaken. No, there might still. We've got 4 more races. Have we got 4 more races to go? We've got 5 more races to go even. Sorry, we've got 3 in the US. In the Americas, and then of course Australia and Abu Dhabi. So there's still another how many points? 130 available. So again, it will be just the Mercedes drivers that can wrap up the Drivers' World Championship at this stage of the year there. Like I said, I'm pretty certain now, yeah, Mercedes have surely wrapped up the Constructors as well with just 5 races to go of the year. So they have done the double once more here on F1 2021 there. We're looking to try and solidify our P8 though, still ahead of Alfa Romeo and Williams nonetheless. And yeah, Ferrari actually closing in now on Red Bull. Could Red Bull end up finishing P4 overall? How disappointing that would be for them there as well. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with round 16 of the year. We head to COTA. You guys do not want to miss it. Of course, none of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to the Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, and Ben for becoming channel members. Of course, if you want to be featured in these end clips below, make sure you click that join button and you'll get access to some other exclusive perks as well.